Okay, so today we're going to look at how to write a proportional equation when we're just given a point or a set of data. And a lot of this should feel a little bit familiar. So we've already talked about the equation for a proportional relationship. Remember, it's y equals mx or y equals kx. Now, a lot of us kept thinking that there was no y-intercept. And there is actually a y-intercept, but remember the y-intercept, the b is actually 0. So that's why there's nothing there, but that doesn't mean that there's not a y-intercept. It just means the y-intercept is 0. Okay? And then we've also talked about the constant of proportionality, which is really, really important that we remember. It's k equals y over x. Now I'm going to show you two different ways to calculate and write this equation. Okay, so it says the following data represents a proportional relationship. Write the equation. So I'm telling you that this first point is part of a set of data for proportional relationships. So you don't have to figure out is it proportional or not. And all we need to know is what is the x value and what is the y value. And what we need to do is we need to find what k is so that we can write our equation. So the first way that we can do this is if we remember that k is y over x, then all we have to do is simply write 3 over 9. That's y over x, and 3 over 9 simplifies to 1/3. So our k value is 1/3, which means our equation for this ordered pair would be y equals 1/3 x. Okay, and that would be our final answer. So we're not just solving for k, we're then taking it and putting it into our equation. Okay, let's look at this second example. Let's say maybe that you didn't remember k is y over x, but you did remember that our equation formula is y equals kx. Maybe you remembered that. Okay, so what we could do is we could take our ordered pair and we can plug in the values for x and y. So y is 6. We don't know what k is yet, but we do know that x is -3. And that would mean k times -3, right? And so we're just going to solve this equation for k. If I solve this equation for k, I would divide by both sides by -3. I would cancel out, and we would see that k equals -2. And so that's just a different way to go about finding the k, but it still basically ends us up with doing y over x. So then our equation for this ordered pair would be y equals -2x, and that would be our final answer. That's the equation we are looking for. Okay, so now I've just given you some different representations, and so I'm telling you that this table is a proportional relationship. So what you have to do is take any pair, any points. It doesn't have to be the first one or the second one. It can be any pair. Let's just take the second point for fun. I'm still going to do y over x or use our equation formula. So I would do 20 over 2, and we see that our k very easily is 10. So we're just finding that constant of proportionality. And so our equation would be y equals 10x. Very important that we're getting this last step and actually writing the equation with the letters x and y in it and our constant, our number for our constant of variation or constant of proportionality. Okay, in this graph, I just wanted you to see that same thing. Now we can use any point on this line except 0, 0. That's not going to do us any good to pick 0, 0. But the first exact point that I see is right here. And let's see, my x value is 2. And my y value is 30. So we know this is proportional because it goes through the origin. And so now we know that we can get that k by doing that unique ratio. Now let's do it the other way just so we get another idea. Y is 30 We don't know what k is, and the x value is 2. And so this is just a different way of going about finding what k is if we can't remember that it's y over x. But here we've got y over x now, right? And so our k, our constant of proportionality, is 15. And so then our equation is y equals 15x. Okay, so I want to give you just a quick little note here. Let me do it in a little text box, maybe. So just remember, 1, you want to find the constant of proportionality. That's the first thing you want to do. And then write the equation with x, y, and the number for k. Okay? Those are kind of the steps that you are working through each time. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it as we work through that. Okay?